Can you believe that? What is that, 4 games in?
He is barely unpacked in Columbus. So if you're not paying attention to what's happening south of the border, we can reason with that because the Canadian division is offering you up content every single day, and it's not going to stop for the next 3 months, 4 months. But Patrick Laine has played a few games down in Columbus. He got benched last night. He barely played in the first. Well, he played a normal amount, I guess, in the first. Barely played in the second, didn't play in the third. And Tortorella came out post-game and just said, basically, it's going to stay in the room, which is fine. He doesn't have to explain anything publicly. I could say this. Tortorella's got to explain it to his GM. I guarantee you Kekalainen was down there right after the game saying, take me through it. What the hell's going on here? We just acquired this guy. Pierre-Luc Dubois wanted out. Mikko Koivu retired today, probably because he's like, I've had enough. I can't deal with this. But Tortorella essentially said, and his team has essentially said, his players have said, if you don't work, you don't play. And if you don't do it my way in terms of the details that I'm looking for, you don't play. And as harsh as it is, as ridiculous as it might seem because Laine is just getting there, I can reason with this. And quite frankly, I think Patrick Laine, this could be the best thing that's ever happened to him in his career. This is a fork in the road for Laine. He can go left and be playing in Finland in 5 years. He made enough money. He's made a fortune already. He's an uber talent. Or he can go off to a third team, fourth, fifth team, do whatever he wants with his life, whatever he wants with his career. He has had fundamental issues throughout his career. He has had work ethic issues. Like Paul Maurice, I'm sure in a candid moment would tell you, this guy has driven me crazy before. He's so good, so talented, but he is flawed as a player because of the fundamentals and the work ethic. And the one avenue down the fork in the road is 4 or 5 teams back in Finland in 5 years. See you later. You had a great run. You made money. You got talent. See you later. Or he might be at the Hall of Fame someday saying, I want to thank John Tortorella because if it wasn't for him and making me snap out of it and realize I got to move here, I got to do things, I got to complete my game, I never would be standing here today because he's got that level of talent. Like Laine is uber talented, but he is a flawed player. So I'm shocked it happened this quickly. But I'm not surprised Tortorella said, I'm not going to have it. Torts has built something there that works because they win games, and if you don't abide by it, you're out or you're on the bench.
The biggest question is, and there's so many different layers to this. First of all, there's one thing that a lot of people wouldn't have watched on the TV as far as the Columbus reaction to it. And I'm not just saying this, Hayes, we always joke around. If you didn't play, I don't know if you'd pick it up, but I was disappointed in Cam Atkinson's comments. He sounded like Torts' son, and he was like, if you don't play hard here, you don't play, and you're going to get scratched. That's no matter what. Maybe go up to Laine and pull him aside and say, look, man, around here, it's just got to be balls out every shift or it generally doesn't work. Don't go in front of the camera and act like a hero, like the teacher's pet. That pissed me off seeing that. That's kind of stuff was not around when I was in the big league. So Cam Atkinson, please don't do that again because I thought that was nonsense. But the other question is, do you want every player in your lineup to be Charlie Hustle and block shots? It's like, do you want Patrick Laine? That's just not – he's a goal scorer. He is a goal scorer. Is he going to play a 200-foot game? Ray has said 100 times, I'd rather a guy that's got an 80-foot game that can score every time he goes down the ice. So really, what are you looking for from the guy? And it's just crazy that this has happened too soon. And you could just almost tell by Laine's reaction on the bench, Hayes. It's not long before he says, check, please. I got to get the hell out of here.
Well, he better be careful, though. I mean, listen, he
no kidding. It only goes so far.
It only goes so far.
Trust me, when you have the capabilities of scoring 50 in that league, he'll have another couple shots. Trust me.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you look at this team, and if we found out anything watching them play against the Leafs in the play-in bubble, whatever it was called, it's that they don't have game breakers on that team. They have 2 guys that scored 20 goals last year. And here's a guy that comes in from Winnipeg. He had 5 goals in his first 4 games this season, heading into last night when he's getting benched in the third period. Like, what do you expect this guy to be? And I think this is going to be a compromise. Like, there's going to have to be some give on Laine's side for sure. But he's not changing completely, right? There's no way he's becoming a different player under Tortorella. Tortorella's going to have to give some in the other direction, in my view, for this thing to work. And Kekalainen's got to be the guy to probably moderate it and figure out a way. Yeah.
I don't know what you think about a coach's ego, but doesn't it seem like the ego is so great with Torts? where it's always like, oh, we're back to Torts again. You're the main spotlight, and you're the guy in front of the camera, first up in front of the players. There's no one else to talk to. And I love when he comes out and he goes, benching of players, it's an easy thing to do. It's just like there's so much ego involved with John Tortorella where he knows that he is in the spotlight. And I don't know. I don't know how much he digs it. He claims he doesn't like the media. He claims they drive him crazy. But it doesn't seem like he minds being the center of attention. I don't know. There's so many different layers to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to separate how he handles the media and how he works a bench. I don't think he's benching Laine thinking, I can't wait to get on the podium later and talk about it or dodge questions or whatever. But he is the face of that organization in large part because of who they are. And
it's also 2021, Bryan, where the solution to getting every player in your lineup going is not always benching somebody. I think these guys are coddled. That's just they're entitled, but that's 2021, and you got to deal with it. Are they gonna respond to a benching? I think not. You think Patrick Laine is thinking to himself, lying on his couch right now, playing Fortnite? I am gonna work my ass off tomorrow.
I don't know if he will, but I think he should. I think he better. Like I think Laine he thinks he's something that he is not yet based on what he's achieved. Because he's heard guys like you and guys like myself who have said he's a 50 goal scorer. He's never scored 50. Never scored 50. This is a guy who has uber talent that simply has not followed through on it. He just hasn't. And he basically played his way out of Winnipeg. For whatever reason, it sounded like it was mutual, like he wanted to go too. But I don't get the impression like Winnipeg was shedding tears. I think they're happy that they got Pierre-Luc Dubois. And this guy, it took him 4 games in Columbus, which I'm surprised that it happened so quickly. But for Tortorella to see something that he just simply won't put up with. And maybe it comes down to Laine or Tortorella. That's on the GM. That's on the owner. Maybe it gets to that point. But Laine, we can't act surprised that this guy's a flawed player. His work ethic at times, we've talked about it before. We've seen him. We're like, this is just a float. Like, he's just floating around. And Pierre-Luc Dubois got the same treatment. He deserved it after that shift a couple of weeks ago. And I can't pinpoint one thing that Laine did that led to him just saying you can't play again. I will say I think it's extreme to shut him down for the period. Skip a couple of shifts and then get him back out there. That could probably get the appropriate message across. Embarrassing him like that, that's Tortorella, that's ego, that's him being a hero. I'm with you on that. But I think Laine needs to take this and say, I got to snap out of this. Like, I'm too good. I got too much talent. If he works harder at what he does, this guy could be a superstar. But he's not right now.